Time has marched relentlessly onward, and Amy's heart, while still bearing the deep, indelible scars of Ty's loss, has spent the recent years in a slow, painful process of attempting to heal. That healing process had included Nathan, the kind, steady man who had offered her comfort and support when Amy was at her most vulnerable, adrift in a sea of grief. Although their connection never approached the profound, soul deep intensity of what she had shared with Ty, Amy knows with a sinking certainty that she owes Nathan the dignity of a conversation, an explanation. But how does one even begin to articulate the impossible, the return of a man presumed dead? As Ty observes her, seeing the storm of emotions warring across her face as she struggles for words, he gently, tentatively rests a hand on her shoulder. "You don't have to explain anything right now, Amy," he says, his voice soft, understanding. But Amy slowly shakes her head, a tear escaping and tracing a path down her cheek. She recognizes this moment, as surreal and dreamlike as it feels, is one she cannot and must not evade. The subsequent scene transitions to Nathan, who is at the Heartland Ranch, absorbed in a fencing project with Jack. He is completely unaware of the emotional earthquake that has just erupted a short distance away in the sanctuary of the barn. When Amy approaches him, her steps heavy, an unspoken, palpable tension hangs in the air between them, a tension Nathan can't quite decipher, but that puts him on edge. "Hey," he greets her, his usual calm, composed demeanor firmly in place, though his eyes search hers. "You look like you've seen a ghost." Amy hesitates, her gaze falling to the ground before she finally takes a seat on a nearby hay bale across from him, her voice trembling almost uncontrollably as she begins. "Nathan, there's something I need to tell you, and I honestly don't know how to say it." Initially, Nathan assumes it's another conversation about the growing strain in their relationship, a topic they've skirted around more than once. He's prepared to reassure her, to promise her he'll try harder, to listen more. But then Amy delivers the utterly staggering, world-altering news. Ty is back, he's alive. The words strike Nathan with the force of a physical blow. His first instinctive reaction is complete disbelief, then a flicker of confusion. How could this possibly be true? The tension that had been simmering beneath the surface culminates when Nathan, his voice raw with pain, says, "I've tried, Amy. I've really tried to be there for you. I've tried to fill that enormous void Ty left behind. But I was never truly enough, was I?" Amy's eyes fill with fresh tears, and she whispers, her voice thick with regret. "It's not about being enough, Nathan. It's about the fact that my heart, it was never truly mine to give away again." As Nathan, his face a mask of hurt and resignation, turns and walks away, the full gravity of the moment of her choice descends upon Amy with crushing weight. She has made a choice her heart screamed for, but it doesn't come without a significant cost, without inflicting pain. Nathan was her stability, her safe harbor when she needed it most desperately, but Ty has always been and will always be her soulmate. The scene transitions back to Heartland's iconic barn, a place of so many memories where Amy and Ty stand together, truly together, for the first time in what feels like a lifetime. The silence between them is heavy, laden with unspoken words, with emotions too vast and intricate to articulate easily. Ty's eyes are filled with a mixture of profound longing and a deep, painful uncertainty, while Amy's expression is a complex tapestry of disbelief, residual shock, and raw, unadulterated emotion. It's as if time itself has frozen, yet the immense weight of everything that has transpired since Ty's supposed death hangs heavily, almost tangibly, in the air around them. Finally, it's Ty who breaks the silence, his voice soft, vulnerable, in a way Amy hasn't heard in years. "I don't even know where to begin, Amy." Amy lets out a shaky, shuddering breath, tears now streaming freely down her face as she whispers, "I thought I'd never see you again. I mourned you. Tygo, Tyas no sabadend. Every single day, I mourned you." Ty's own eyes glisten with unshed tears as he steps closer, closing the small distance between them. "I never wanted to leave you, Amy. You have to believe that. If there was any way I could have come back sooner, any possible way, I would have. But I couldn't. And every single moment I was away from you and Lindy, it felt like an eternity of lifetimes." The mention of Lindy brings a fresh wave of emotion, a poignant ache to Amy's face. "Lindy," she repeats, her voice trembling. "Oh, Ty, she's grown so much. She's so amazing. She reminds me so much of you in so many little ways." Ty manages a faint smile, but there's an undeniable shadow of sadness, of loss in his eyes. I've missed so much, haven't I? Her first real steps, her first full sentences, all those little milestones. I can't ever get that precious time back. Amy reaches out, her hand instinctively finding his, her touch a reassurance. She'll understand, Ty. She's your daughter through and through, and she deserves to know her father. We'll figure this all out together. But as much as their words are filled with a desperate, burgeoning hope, there's still an undeniable, almost electric tension thrumming between them. Amy has endured so much, navigated so many storms since Ty's absence, raising Lindy largely on her own, with the steadfast support of her family, but still feeling that parental void, struggling to rediscover her own identity in the wake of such a profound loss, and even tentatively, cautiously trying to build a new future with Nathan. The emotional scars she carries are deep, hidden beneath a carefully constructed veneer of strength. And while seeing Ty standing before her, alive and real, feels like nothing short of a miracle, it also stirs up a complex cocktail of feelings: anger, confusion, even a sense of betrayal that she hadn't fully confronted, had perhaps buried too deeply since. You have no idea what it was truly like, Ty, she says, her voice finally breaking, the raw pain surfacing. There were days, so many days, when I didn't know how I was going to get through to the next hour, let alone the next day. I had to be strong for Lindy. I had to keep going for her, but inside I was just falling apart piece by piece. And now you're back, and I don't even know how to feel. I'm so incredibly happy, yes, overwhelmingly so, but I'm also so angry. Angry that you weren't here when we needed you the most, when Lindy kept asking questions I couldn't answer. Ty nods slowly, his face etched with a profound guilt and understanding. I understand, Amy, and you have every single right to feel that way, to feel all of it, feel all of it. I can't change the past. I can't erase the pain I caused by being gone, by not being here. But I am here now, and all I want, more than anything in this world, is a chance, just a chance, to try and make things right. For you, for Lindy, and for us. The raw, unvarnished honesty in his words, the depth of his remorse, causes Amy's carefully constructed defenses to crumble just a little more. She knows, with a certainty that settles deep in her bones, that healing won't happen overnight. It will be a long, arduous process. But the love they shared, the extraordinary, resilient love that still clearly exists between them, offers her a vital glimmer of hope in the overwhelming darkness. The heavy conversation takes an unexpectedly lighter, profoundly emotional turn when Lindy, a whirlwind of youthful energy, unexpectedly walks into the barn. The little girl freezes in her tracks when she sees Ty, her large, expressive eyes, so like her father's, filled with an innocent curiosity. "Mommy, who's that?" she asks, tilting her head to the side, her gaze fixed on the stranger who makes her mother look so sad and so happy all at once. Amy kneels, bringing herself down to her daughter's level, her voice incredibly gentle, soothing. "Sweetheart, this is your daddy. He's been away for a very, very long time, but he's here now." Lindy's face, a mirror of Amy's own, lights up with a mixture of pure wonder and tentative excitement. "My daddy?" she repeats, her voice a small whisper as she looks from Amy to Ty. Ty crouches down slowly, his own emotions threatening to overwhelm him as he meets Lindy's innocent, searching gaze. "Yeah, sweetheart, I'm your daddy." Tentatively, almost shyly, Lindy takes a small step closer, then another, her small hand reaching out, hesitating for a moment before gently touching his arm, as if to confirm he's real. Ty holds himself perfectly still, almost afraid the fragile, precious moment might shatter if he moves too quickly or speaks too soon. When Lindy finally, spontaneously wraps her small arms around him in a tight hug, Ty's carefully controlled tears fall freely, unchecked. He holds her close, his heart simultaneously breaking with the sorrow of missed time and mending with the sheer joy of this reunion. Amy watches the incredibly moving scene unfold, her own silent tears tracing paths down her cheeks. For the first time in years, a profound sense of completeness, a wholeness she thought she had irrevocably lost forever, begins to settle over her. But alongside that returning completeness comes the stark, clear realization that their journey as a reunited family is only just beginning, with many challenges undoubtedly still ahead. The following day, in what feels like a scene Telugu pa, Telugu Wattu, Telugu ta Telugu Wattu, Telugu ay. Faro May dream, Amy and Tai take Lindy on a trail ride, a cherished tradition Amy had painstakingly maintained throughout Ty's absence, a way to keep his memory alive for their daughter. As they ride through the familiar, breathtaking Alberta countryside, a flood of memories washes over both Amy and Ty. They find themselves reminiscing about the very early days of their relationship, the initial sparks, the challenges they faced and overcame, the countless adventures they shared, and the unbreakable, almost mystical bond that had kept them tethered together through thick and thin. But while they laugh and share stories, revisiting old times, there's an undeniable undercurrent of uncertainty, a fragility to their renewed connection. Ty notices the way Amy's smile occasionally falters, just for a second. He sees the way her eyes sometimes seem distant, lost in thought, perhaps replaying the hardships of the past few years. He knows with a heavy heart that earning back her complete trust, rebuilding the intricate tapestry of their connection, will require immense patience, consistent effort, and a whole lot of love. As the trail ride comes to a gentle end back at the Heartland Ranch, Ty pulls Amy aside for a moment while Lindy, chattering happily, runs to tell Jack about their adventure. Amy, he says, his tone serious, his gaze direct and unwavering. I know this isn't going to be easy, not for any of us. But I need you to know that I'm all in, completely. Whatever it takes, whatever you need, I'm here for you and for Lindy. We'll take it one day at a time together. We can do this. Amy looks at him, her eyes searching his face intently, looking for any flicker of doubt, any hesitation. But all she sees is the man she fell deeply in love with all those years ago, the man who, despite everything, has always been her rock, her anchor. Even in his devastating absence, his memory was a source of strength. She takes a deep, steadying breath and nods, a small, hopeful smile gracing her lips. One day at a time, she agrees, her voice firm with a newfound resolve. As the sun begins to set, painting the vast Alberta sky in breathtaking hues of orange, pink, and gold over the Heartland Ranch, the three of them, Amy, Ty, and Lindy, stand together, silhouetted against the glorious light. It's a moment of quiet, unspoken resolution, a potent symbol of the enduring hope and the profound love that still irrevocably bind them as a family. While Ty's return has undeniably filled Amy's heart with an almost unbearable hope and a renewed, powerful sense of purpose, it has also stirred a tumultuous whirlwind of unresolved emotions concerning Nathan. Over the past year or so, Nathan had become a quiet, constant, and comforting presence in Amy's life, offering her not just companionship, but also the tentative, fragile possibility of eventually moving forward, of building a new kind of happiness. But with Ty now undeniably back in the picture, flesh and blood, Amy is forced to confront her truest, deepest feelings, and it's painfully, abundantly clear that her heart still belongs, and perhaps always will belong, to her first true love. The decision to meet with Nathan, to sit down and try to explain the inexplicable turn her life has taken, is anything but easy. Amy knows with a certainty that makes her ache that he doesn't deserve to be hurt. He has been nothing but kind and patient. But she also understands with a clarity born of her own past grief that continuing their relationship while her heart isn't fully, unequivocally in it would only cause him and her more profound pain in the long run. The difficult scene unfolds on a quiet, cool evening as Amy invites Nathan to the ranch, ostensibly just to talk. Nathan arrives, his expression characteristically warm but also tinged with a natural curiosity. He had definitely sensed the significant shift in Amy's demeanor in the very air around her since the day of Ty's return, but he had wisely, kindly given her the space she clearly needed to process everything. Now he approaches her with that same calm, steady demeanor that had initially drawn her to him during her darkest days. Amy, Nathan begins, his voice even and reassuring, sensing her unease. I know something's been weighing heavily on you. I can see it. And I just want you to know whatever it is, you can tell me. Amy takes a deep, shaky breath, her hands nervously clasped together in her lap. Nathan, you've been such an incredibly important part of my life this past year, more than you know. Her voice begins to falter, and she looks down, finding it suddenly impossible to meet his kind, steady eyes. You've been there for me and for Lindy in ways I can't even begin to thank you for. Nathan steps a little closer, his concern for her evident in his gentle expression. But what, Amy? Sweater. Just say it. Whatever it is, we'll figure it out together, like we always do. Tears well up in Amy's eyes as she finally lifts her gaze to meet his. Ty's return. It's brought up so many emotions, so many things I thought I'd buried deep down, things I thought I'd moved on from. Her voice cracks. Nathan, I really truly did think I was moving on. But seeing him again, having him here, it's like a part of me, a part I thought was gone forever, just came roaring back to life. She pauses, struggling to articulate the impossible. And as much as I genuinely care about you, Nathan, I can't ignore the fact that my heart, it still belongs to him. It always has. Nathan's face falls, a shadow passing over his kind features, and for a long moment, he's clearly at a loss for words. The pain of Amy's gentle but firm confession is palpable in the space between them, but so is his inherent understanding, his deep empathy. I see, he says quietly, his voice tinged with an undeniable sadness but no bitterness. I think I always knew, somewhere deep down, that a part of you would always love Ty. I guess I hoped that maybe, just maybe, there'd be enough room for me too. Amy steps nearer then, her voice filled with a profound, genuine regret. Nathan, you mean so much to me, you truly do. And if things were different, if Ty hadn't come back, maybe we could have built something real and lasting together. I believe that. But I can't deceive myself any